Welcome to another video on Influential Sports. Make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. And today I'm doing the NFL Divisional round recap. Not starting in order, I'm starting with my favorite team first. I'm starting with the Eagles. We played the Rams. Shout out to Black Couch Booking. He a Rams fan. I'm an Eagles fan. But hey, neither one of these teams looked great in this game. The Eagles won 28-22. The game was close, but it wasn't a good game. This game was absolutely terrible. And Jalen Hurts, let's talk about you. 15 to 20 passing, 75 completion percentage, 128 yards. Not the best. I mean, it snowed, but this is something that the Eagles should be used to. Obviously, the Rams struggling in snow, it makes sense. They play in LA. But this is supposed to be our game, our weather, and we still struggle somehow. Jalen Hurts also had 7 carries for 70 yards and a touchdown. But he also took 7 sacks. It was a lot of times in the game where he had just... Now, Jared Verse, he's going to be a star. He's the Rams' best defensive player. Shout out to Jared Verse. Got a lot of pressures last week. Got a few sacks this week. And he should win Defensive Rookie of the Year, but I'm going to get back to the Rams in a second. But Jalen Hurts, he isn't that good. He's probably one of the most overrated quarterbacks. It's hard to keep putting him in those top 5 conversations when he has games like this, where it's struggling to get out of the pocket. Pressure keeps getting to him. We had one of the best offensive lines in the league, and you took 7 sacks. The Rams' defensive line is not that much better. The Rams' defensive line doesn't compare to the Eagles' offensive line. I mean, the Rams' defense is good, but compared to the Eagles' offensive line, which has been great all year, and I'm watching the Lakers game while doing this. LeBron just airballed a free throw. But oh my goodness. This is not going great so far. Because I'm recording this on a Sunday night. This will be out Monday afternoon. But yeah, Jalen Hurts, there was a lot of times, he had a few good runs and a couple of good plays, but the pocket presence, the pocket awareness, it's just not there. I don't know what goes through his head. I don't know if it's still the concussion or what, because he didn't have time off since that. He had about 2 weeks off because of the concussion. He came back in against the Packers game, didn't look great. And in this game, he didn't look great. Missed a few reads. It really was a lot of check down passes. It wasn't a lot of deep ball passes in this game for Jalen Hurts. Like I said, took 7 sacks. Some of them, the Rams defense, they just got the pressure, and then there was other times he was just holding the ball too long and just allowing the Rams to get to him. Those guys like Jared Verse and them. Saquon Barkley, he had 26 carries for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns. He carried us in this game, but if we're gonna have to rely on Saquon to win that game next week in the championship. And I don't know how realistic that is, because our team really struggled. A.J. Brown, 2 catches for 14 yards. Are you kidding me? Last week he only had 1 catch. This week he had 1 catch for 5 yards. This week he gets 2 catches and only has 14 yards. This is embarrassing. We only had 128 passing yards in this game. We won because of the defense and because of Saquon. Then you got to add in the factor of the snow, playing in Philadelphia instead of being in LA. The Rams competed in this game. Dallas Goedert, he had 4 catches for 56 yards. Saquon Barkley had more receiving yards than Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Our star running back had the same amount of catches as Devontae Smith, had more catches than A.J. Brown, and he had more yards than both of them, and that was only 27. Our leading receiver was Dallas Goedert with 56 yards. So we were lucky to win this game. We didn't win this game, we escaped this game. It's the difference between winning a game and escaping a game. And then the defense, our defense was really great in this game. I mean, Jalen Carter, he stepped up. Darius Slay, he made a few big plays Slay for a reason. Luckily, C.J. Gardner-Johnson was able to be out there. I thought he was going to be out. But then Quinyon Mitchell, he got hurt and ended up going out. But hopefully he's all right and can come back next week. But man, to the Rams, Matthew Stafford, he was 26 for 44, 59 completion percentage, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns. Stafford, he didn't have that great of a game either. Really, Stafford and Hurts was having a mid-off. It wasn't that great of a game. And then Puka and Kupp, I wasn't surprised they both have good games. Obviously, Tyler Higbee back. He came back last week. So they still had All them guys they were really good. Even DeMarcus Robinson had 3 catches, 74 yards. Puka had 97, Cup 61, Tyler Higbee 54. It wasn't too much more that their receiving core could have did. Even Kyron Williams having 19 carries for 106 yards, no touchdowns. Like, he still had a really good game, but they did have some fumbles, had some turnovers when the snow started, because obviously they play in LA, and really the only guy that has that experience playing in that type of weather is Matthew Stafford, since he was with the Lions before. But like, and then the defense was really good. Like I said, they had 7 sacks. Uh, how many Jared Verse had? I say he had 2, but I'm pretty sure he had 3 in the game. But yeah, the Rams defense, they played great. They had a chance to win the game. Just unfortunately wasn't able to do nothing down the stretch. Cause Saquon had a 78-yard touchdown to put the Eagles up 28 to 15. Then Matthew Stafford, he led the team down the field to get a touchdown, make it 28-22. Then the Rams had the ball again after that, and it ended in a turnover on down, so the Eagles were able to escape that game. But this isn't anything positive for the Eagles. These last 2 games, even the one against the Packers, they were lucky to get out of that one because the Packers were so bad and had so many injuries throughout the game. So they escaped the Packers game, then they escaped the Rams game. So I don't have too much confidence going into the NFC Championship game next week. Since I started the video out of order, it's just going to stay that way. And I'll move on to the other NFC game. And the Washington Commanders, for the first time since 1991, are heading to the NFC Championship. They beat the Lions 45-31. Which was a surprise. Jaden Daniels had a phenomenal game. 299 yards, 2 touchdowns, 22 of 31. Also had 16 carries for 51 yards. He just had a really good game. Then on top of that, you had Brian Robinson with 15 carries and 77 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, this team, they were just on one this game. Zach Ertz, Terry McLaurin, Jamison Crowder, De'Ami Brown. Like, even Austin Eckler had a few great catches. Then this was a high-scoring game. Obviously, the Lions got some defensive guys out. But it was like, man, you have a 15-win season, get a first-round bye. It's like everything should be in their advantage, but they gave up 28 points in the second quarter. The Commanders scored 28 points in the second quarter. Like, that is ridiculous. And then he had Goff, who he had to play through an injury at one point, but he had 3 turnovers. He had 3 interceptions, 313 yards. I mean, that's just something you can't do. You can't have that many turnovers in a playoff game, especially one of the most important in history for the Lions. Jamar Gibbs, 14 carries, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then what really lost in the game is the trick play with Jamison Williams. Like, that just didn't make any sense at that time. That was a really dumb play. Like, it's a championship, it's a divisional round game, and you're down, and that's the play you decide to do. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 8 catches, 137 yards. And then Jamison Williams, he didn't really do much. He had a catch. He had a touchdown, too. He had the rushing touchdown for 61 yards. Really, after that, it didn't do much else. Sam Laporta, Jamar Gibbs, they had good games, like I said. But man, for the Lions to have such a good season and to just get bounced like that, that's such a surprise. But shout out to the Commanders making it this far, playing the Eagles next week, 2 NFC East teams in the championship game to go to the Super Bowl. That should be interesting. But man, kind of feel bad for the Lions. But the funniest thing about this game is 42 Doug going off on X. That is hilarious. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Texans was the most boring game of the weekend. The Chiefs ended up getting the win, 23-14. You can say whatever you want to about the refs, the flags, this and that. I mean, it was definitely a few bad calls, but the Chiefs were still clearly the better team, and the defense stepped up when they needed to. Mahomes, 16-25, 1 touchdown, 177 yards. Most of those yards being to Travis Kelce, who had 7 catches and 117 yards. Noah Gray and Xavier Worthy had a few catches. Kareem Hunt even had a catch. Then outside of them, nobody else really did anything. But it didn't end up mattering. They ended up getting the win at the end of the day. Karlaftis, he had 3 sacks in this game, so he had a really impressive performance. And that was getting to C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud, he definitely struggled in this game. 19 to 28, 245, no touchdowns, no picks. But he did take a few sacks in this game. The Chiefs defense was getting to him, like I said. Joe Mixon had 18 carries for 88 yards and a touchdown. And then, really, like, when you look at the receiver core, Xavier Hutchinson had a great game. Nico Collins had 5 catches, 81 yards. But they were clearly outplayed. Clearly, the Chiefs were clearly the better team. So it's like, can't really say too much about the Texans. They can't be disappointed. I mean, they were an underdog really in that first round. Even as the higher seeded team, a lot of people were picking the Chargers to win their game, and they was able to win it. And they even stayed competitive in most of this game against the Chiefs. But better luck next year to them. Ravens-Bills, let's talk about it. I mean, Lamar Jackson had 2 turnovers. He had a fumble and an interception. Mark Andrews had a fumble and a crucial drop at the end of the game. Just the Bills, they played mistake-free football, and that's one thing I'm gonna keep preaching. Like, if you're playing mistake-free football, it's hard to lose. And the Ravens, they weren't doing that. You had Lamar he had 2 touchdowns in the game, and he's 18 to 25, had 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he had an interception and a fumble, which those are both crucial turnovers that you can't have in a game like this, which is the most important game of the season up to this point. This is definitely one of the most anticipated games in the last few years. Mark Andrews had a fumble, then he had the crucial drop that would have tied it. Like, the 2 of your top stars made crucial mistakes in this game, and it's like, and really, when you look at it, who's to put the blame on? It's both Lamar and Mark Andrews, because Lamar, he obviously got them in a position to even have a chance to win the game, but he also put them in a position that gave the Bills the lead. Mark Andrews, he had 5 catches for 61 yards, and then he had the fumble and he had the drop at the end of the game. Isaiah Likely, he was really good today. He had 4 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown. Like I said, Mark Andrews, he still had a solid game aside from that one mistake that he had. Well, 2 mistakes, actually. You had Rashad Bateman. You still didn't have Zay Flowers, unfortunately, but you should have been able to win this game. Zay Flowers doesn't change those mistakes when you really think about it. Derrick Henry, 16 carries, 84 yards, and a touchdown. Had a solid game. But the Ravens screwed themselves. They got down at halftime by 11. Then pretty much the Bills just took over from there. Josh Allen, 16 to 22, didn't have a single passing touchdown, had 127 yards. He did have 2 rushing touchdowns on 10 carries, 20 yards. James Cook had 17 carries for 67 yards. Even Ty Johnson and Ray Davis, they got some action a little bit. Ray Davis ended up getting a touchdown. Ray Davis saved me from getting the last place in fantasy not too long ago, right before the playoffs started. So shout out to Ray Davis. He's a great guy. Khalil Shakir, he had a phenomenal game, 6 catches, 67 yards. I mean, it's only phenomenal because Josh Allen only had 127 yards, and Khalil Shakir contributed to most of it. Like, a lot of people had questions about this wide receiver room. I'm one of those people, and they've showed that they can hang with the best of the best. They ended up winning 27 to 25, and what was the best game of the weekend? It was a fun game to watch, but 4 mistakes cost the Ravens this game. The Bills didn't make many mistakes, and they were able to come away with the win. But that's it for this video. Make sure you leave a like on it. Subscribe to the channel. Comment down your thoughts below on the divisional round. Who you got winning the championship games between the Commanders and the Eagles and the Bills and the Chiefs. I do think, now the Bills are in another must-win game. I think the Bills might take it this time. Then the Commanders and Eagles, as an Eagles fan, not too confident in that one. The Commanders might just take it, and we might be getting the Commanders-Bills Super Bowl in 2025. Peace.